Good morning, everyone. Today is Sunday, September 21st, and today we'll do the Group D guesstimates. Yeah, they're up next. Obviously, YieldMax funds, weekly payers, Group D. Let's see what they're going to pay. We'll give it our best wag, and we'll go from there. So good morning, everyone. Please confirm audio is working. Starting a little early today, make up for my lateness yesterday. So as you can see here, declaration day is September 24th. Ex-dividend date is September 25th, and then payment date is September 26th. So obviously this is the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, same thing, same ordeal. They will announce what they're going to pay, the morning of the 24th, typically around 6:55 a.m. And they will, if you buy in that day or earlier and you hold it until the 25th, you will qualify for the distribution to be paid on September 26th. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. Scrolling down further, obviously you could see the groups, the breakdowns, the this, the that, the other thing. In case you were wondering, obviously it's getting crowded here. So yeah, Group A especially, there's not much room. All right. So although it is, it's kind of balanced, right? Kind of balanced in general. But Group B, Group D, they need a little love. Maybe get one or two more in there. But anyway. Let's get to it. All right, here we go. All right, let's start with Aptly. All right, what is Aptly going to pay? All right, Aptly, I don't know, right? Does anyone know? No, but let's see, 65 cents per share. That's how much they went up in share price, assuming I did this right. Actually, let me just double check my formulas. No, I did not. All right, let me update that to add AZ 43. Add back the distro. There you go. One sec. There we go. All right. So Aptly went up 59 cents per share. Okay, that's good. Their last payment was 34 cents. And let's go here. Aptly, how much did they make? They lost 3.4 mil, so that's not really going to help them. But let's go to their synthetic and see if they're making anything on that. Again, this will be on paper. Yeah, man, look at that. That's synthetic. It's a 205. Apple is at 245. I mean, damn. So that comes to an estimate of about 232 per share. So yeah, that I mean, damn. So Aptly, they're going to impress for sure. I think so. Obviously, they went up 59 cents. So what if I just plugged in, say, 55 cents? That seems a little high for them, but let's see. That would be a 52% yield. Again, if you look at their implied volatility for Apple, it's about 22%, which ain't much at all, right? So again, I'm thinking at least double, right? At least in the 50. It's been a while, man. Their last time, well, they did pay 65 cents a few weeks back, but we got a tough one here. I want to give them the 50s. What about 51 cents? That would be almost, about double the IV. Yeah, or 40 or high 40s maybe. Again, this is a tough one. There's no way they're paying, obviously, $1. But, yeah, we'll give them double the IV. I think any more than that is obnoxious probably because it's a $13 fund. But, obviously, they're doing well. So, yeah, we'll give them 48 cents. All right, let's move on. How you doing, AMZY? AMZY, they went up 32 cents. All right, that's not bad. And then we go over here and we check the synthetic. We go down here. Their synthetic is worth 88 cents. Again, if you look at their synthetic, it's a 220, and Amazon is priced at 231. So that's worth 88 cents per share. How much income did they make per share? Well, let's check that out. None. All right. They lost about 697,000. All right. So again, what they make? 88, we said. We go over here. They jumped up 32. $15 fund. IV is what? 26%. Their last payment was 49. What if we give them 50? Let's see what happens. That comes to 42%. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Not 50. Again, they went up 32, maybe low 40s. I'll give them. Wow, man, they pay good though. AMZY pays good. And what's the price at? $15. Yeah, it's a tough one. But they did go down to 49. Their lowest distribution was 36 cents. Whew. And they are up 88 cents on the paper, as they say. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to give them 47 cents. 39% yield on that. Again, that's too high. We gotta drop it, man. We gotta drop it. We gotta get back to reality. 44 cents, 37. I'm gonna give him 44 cents, which is a 37% yield. Up next, your boy Disso. Disso been a little popular in the news lately, or at Disney, shall we say. So let's go over here and let's check out how much they made per share. They made about 24 cents per share. Again, that's realized income. So how much is their synthetic worth on paper? It's negative 10 cents. So obviously that's not going to help. So let's go back over here. And again, let's see how much, they went down for. So this one's going to be as simple as, what's the IV? What's the lowest payment? Are they going to pay the lowest payment ever? Are they going to pay something close to it? Probably something close to the IV. The IV is 24%. 30 cents would be a 30% distribution. Again, their last payment was 33. They paid 27 before that. So, we're going to be probably in maybe not the lowest payment, but close to it. Yeah, looking at like 28 cents probably for Disso. But yeah, I don't know. What are you guys thinking for Disso? Could be good, could be bad. Who the heck knows? All right. Up next is your boy XYZY. They went down in price by 23 cents per share. Okay, well, bad start there. Now let's go to check out their synthetic. Where is it? Click on the sheet. Their synthetic is worth currently 33 cents per share. All right, that's fine. Now, what about the group's value? Well, we could see here they did make 61 cents per share. All right, so that's key. That matters. 61 cents obviously would be a massive payment for them. The IV is not updating, so that doesn't help. But they did pay 43 cents last time around, and then 67 before that. But again, if you put it right in the middle, we're looking at what, 68%. Guesstimate yield. Again, the price is now under $9, so this puts us in a tough position here. I think it's going to be definitely an increase from the last payment. Maybe 51 cents. 51 cents would be 69% yield. Again, I don't even know what their IV is. Let's refresh. Let's see if the refresh works. The spreadsheet's getting way too big. That's what she said. All right. No, that's not working. All right. So again, my zoom on this is 150. It was at one. I'm not typing in 175 again. You'll have to live with this view. Yeah. Again, look at the last. Let's start last three. Yeah, you never know. XYZY is a tough one to guess. They're always all over the place. 51 cents. What the heck did we say they made? 61. Yeah, so 51 is definitely doable. What are we thinking? What do we thinking? What do you do? What do you say? Yeah, I'm just going to leave it. All right, let's not think about it anymore. Leave it, 51 cents. All right, up next is AIYY. They went up in share price by 2 cents. Woohoo! They're a $2 stock. I mean, come on, man. AI, no, $2. You know, not what you think. Not what you think would happen with this. Yeah, they did not have a good round of income either. They lost 36 mil this 4-week cycle. All right. So now what about their synthetic position? Let's see. They got two synthetics. They got a 15 and a 1750. However, if you combine them all together, the synthetic is worth 9 cents per share. That's not really going to make or break anything here. But let's go back to here. Their last payment was 11 cents, which, you know, that's pathetic. But again, it's a $2 fund. So just like Murney, you know, it's the struggle's real. What if we give them 10 cents? You know, we don't want to drop it too much, right? 10 cents would be a 47% guesstimate yield, but their IV is actually 57. So you got to think that's what they're striving for. So I'm going to have to give them above 10. I'm going to have to give them above what their last payment was. What if I give them 15 cents? That's a, wow, that jumps quick. Again, when you're messing with the low numbers, it's crazy. You're crazy, man. All right, let's give them 13 cents. Screw it. 13 cents guesstimate for AIYY, 61% yielder on that. All right, does that work for you guys, or do you not care? All right, up next is MSTY. We got a placeholder here. The placeholder is $1. All right, let's do this. All right, this is gonna be a tough one. You know, it's not easy. $1, obviously, that would be an 81% guesstimate yield. Their 30-day IV is 51%. Share price, they went up by whopping 12 cents. Again, this is based on the last, you know, when the start of the 4-week cycle up to the Friday, the last Friday. It's adding back in the distribution, though, because it does drop by the distributions. So they did go up 12 cents per share. All right. So what do we got? I don't know. Let's go to the MSTY file. MSTY file. Again, we're just going to go right to the Rotomator. Rotomator says, and if we use the IV, 63 or 64 cents. No, I don't. Again, I'm more close. This is like the minimum I'm thinking. The extrinsic income, 78 cents, would be a 63% yield. However, again, they've never, ever paid under $1. Ever. Do they want to start now? That is the only question here. You know, I took it to X. I did a poll, right? Can you see the poll here? MSTY over under $1. The poll is closed. Final results, 1,336 votes. And the result is over by 68%. Again, this is a tough one, right? Tough one. Yeah. It's not easy. Like, what do you guys think in the chat? You know, the only reason I'm even entertaining $1 is what I've seen on ULTY. ULTY, you know, 8 cents, 9 cents, 9 cents, 10 cents. How long have they paid the 10 cents, right? You know, so it tells me, and I've been saying this is going to be the first payment under $1. And here I am stopping myself from giving it under $1. I don't think I could do it. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to give it $1. I don't know. Maybe it's just that simply out of pride. I'm giving it. Well, it's again, I can't put under $1. I need them to do it for me. All right. I'm just not, I'm not man enough to put it under $1 because I don't want to see it under $1. I'm not going to lie. I may cry, right? No, but for real, I think, you know, I think we could stay at the $1, you know, $1, just to make it like, all right, it's not like a pathetic, you know, we did it, we made $1, you know, it's a penny over, so that more decisive $1, right? Yeah, screw it, I'm leaving it, $1, done, $1, $1, $1, $1. All right, is that right? I don't know. I don't freaking know. Could it be 80 cents? Yes. Could it be 70 cents? Yes. Could it be 60 cents? Probably not. But again, I'm thinking anywhere. It could be anywhere from 80 cents to probably $1.10. 80 cents to $1.10. Let's be realistic. So I don't know. Let's leave it at that and let's move on. All right. Up next is your boy SMCY. All right. SMCY. How much did they go up per share? 72 cents. 72 cents. That's really freaking good. Those are, again, we cover SMCY on a normal basis, right? So we'll have to check out their synthetic. It's right here, right? They got a synthetic 40. It's worth how much? $2.09 per share. The income estimates right here. Where is it? Yeah, it's negative. So we can only really focus on 209 as, you know, this is on paper essentially. All right. So you got the 209 on paper. You got the price movement of 72. The last payment was $1.30. What if they pay $1.10? What does that come? That comes to a 90% yield. So just like our boy Misty, I don't think they're going to pay under $1. I think they're going to beat. I think they're going to pay more than Misty, because again they've had a high IV. They're showing a 59% IV, but I'm going to give them like $1. What's $1.05? $1.05 for them. That would be 86% yield. Again, I don't want to give them less than Misty, so this is not going to be easy. Wow. Maybe I'm just crazy thinking they're both going to pay over $1, but again, their lowest distribution ever was their last distribution of $1.30. So what are they going to pay? I do not know. All right, let's move on. We're going to give them $1.05, 86% yield. All right, YQQQ. They went down 37 cents per share. Let's go over here and we will check the group's value tab. And they did not make money. In fact, they lost about 700,000 in the process. And now we go over here and we pull them up here. And what do we got? We got I didn't even highlight. Oh, I didn't even do this one. I didn't highlight the proper synthetic. Stupid short funds anyway, right? So it's a 590 synthetic for them. If I highlight the proper row, you can see. And let's add that. We go over here, 14. Boom. All right, their synthetic is worth prognosis negative here. So yeah, they're not doing anything too impressive here. So we're just gonna default to, well, let's look at the last payment, 23 cents. The one before that, 17 cents. The lowest payment ever was 17 cents. So let's try like 18 cents and see what that comes to at 18% yield. Yeah, it's probably going to be around that range, or maybe the lowest payment ever. I'll just stick with 18 cents. All right, last but not least is Winter. Winter, you know, they had a good round. They had a good go round. But first, let's check their synthetic. Their synthetic is actually in the negative as we speak. But the group's value is what I believe was doing really good. Let's see. Yeah, Winter, they made 662 per share. But yeah, man, that's a lot. All right, they're not obviously, I don't know. Let's see. They're a $32 fund still. They went up in share price $1.47. Their last payment was $2.19. So they're going to be in the $2 range. We're going to give them $2.50. Let's see what that comes to. Where'd it go? $2.50 would be a 98% yield. I always like to give at least one of the funds over a 100% yield, and I'm going to give it to Winter this time. I'm going to give them a what do we think? 268. That would be 105% yield. Yeah, I'm going to go with it. I don't care. I'm sticking with it. I don't care. It is what it is. 105% yield. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I mean, we saw how much they made per share. So, you know, this is worthy, right? They paid $2.19 last time, $2.68, very possible. $3, no way. But hey, we'll keep an eye. All right, last but not least is the freaking weeklies. So let's do them real quick. All right, we'll start with YieldMax. Again, we go to whoever paid last time, which was Group C, and we go right here. So YieldMax would come to 12 cents, which would be a 48% yield. They paid 12 cents last time. So you know what? I'm just going to keep it as is. And then YMAG, using, again, simple formulas based on what Group C paid last time, 4 cents. Again, Group C is the loaner one with the MSFO. So we have to look. Okay, they paid 14.13. All right. Now we look here. Last time this cycle came around, they paid 11 cents. Again, how the hell did they do that? That was a surprise for me at that point in time. So I guess I'm going to get surprised again, but I'm not going to give them 4 cents. I'm going to boost that sucker up at least 100 and what, 130%? What's that going to come to? 5 cents? Whoopie freaking doodah, right? I don't know, man. 6 cents. It's going to be low. I'm giving them 6 cents. What do you want? What do you want from me? All right. Anyway, let's go to now LFGY. LFGY, their last payment was 46 cents. But if we go to the file, 48. Let me just, yeah. Well, actually, let's look at the numbers first. Actually, no. You know what? Screw it. We got what? 46 cents last time around. We got 47. We're gonna stick with it. What do you think? Probably a little less. Looking at the guesstimate yield, 67%. The current yield. You know what? Nah, we'll keep it. Screw it. Let's keep it. All right, let's see what GPTY looks like. I'm not going to go through the funds this time around, actually. I'm just going to skim through. All right, again, this is the way we calculate the weeklies is we take the average IV, we multiply it by the price of the fund, and then divide it by 52 weeks. What do we got here? They paid 29, then they paid 36, and then we got another 36. All right, so what's another 36? Yeah, let's go with it, man. Let's go with it. SDTY, again, we played cheap on this one. I'm just going to give them the last payment. Again, I'm lazy on this. I know. I don't care. Whatever. I'll give them the last payment, and I'm moving on. All right, what else we got here? RDTY, 25, then 29. And the Russell's been doing good, so I'm going to give him maybe, this one I'll change. I'll do 31. And then we'll go from there. All right, ULTY. Let's see what ULTY comes to. Again, we're probably just going to adjust it because there's no way in hell they're paying what's going to say here. Oh, it says 8 cents. That's respectable. Again, their last payment was 9. Looking at 8 cents, that's a 81% yield. So I see no problem with them paying 9 cents. So I'm going to give them 9 cents yet again. In fact, they may pay 10 cents again. I'm not kidding here. We may be looking at a 10 center. Yeah, but 9 cents to be safe. There's no harm in just paying 9 cents, to protect the NAV too. So yeah, I'll leave 9. Don't be surprised if you get 10 though. All right, chippity doo da, chippity day, chip, chip, chip. What a wonderful day. All right, so all right. What do we got? 45 cents. They paid 42 last time. Yeah, screw it. I'll give them a little bonus, 45. Yeah, 42% yield. That's good. And then we got Salty. Newest of the weeklies. Not doing too fantastic lately. The market's been doing, in a little run here. They're looking at what, 64 cents. Their last payment was 55. So you'd have to imagine they're going to pay a little less than that. Let's go with 61 cents. Where is it at? Where are we at here? Yeah, 61 cents, which would be a 74% yield. All right. Yeah, I think that's right. Well, that's more than last time though. And they went down in price actually. 70 cents to 55 to 55. What's another 55? 66% yield. The vol, I don't know. I think they're going to pay more for some reason. I'm going to give them 58. All right, let me do a pay special here. So these lock in. All right. So those are the guesstimates. Again, I'll look at house money in a second, maybe. I'll leave up MSTY. I have to step away for a quick second. Give me a second. I'm going to put some music on for you guys. All right. We're back. So yeah, we want to look at house money here. So let's take a look. Can you guys hear me still? Let me just double check. All right. So what do we got? Make sure everything looks good. Again, just based on launch price, and then compared to the total distributions paid out. MSTY already paid out again from launch, 2 times over, right? 2 times over. And obviously at this point, they're just, it is what it is. When they're going to hit 300%, who the heck knows, right? And then what else we got? We got XYZY, what do they have to pay to do 100%? That's the question, right? But if you look here, they have to pay pretty much, $1 something, right? So over $1. I'm not sure that's going to happen this time around. I don't even know what is my guess anyway. 51 cents. So it's probably going to be not this time, but the next time possibly that XYZY will be at 100%, which is pretty good. And then we got what? AMZY, which is at 80%. That's heading there. Again, AMZY is one of the better funds from inception. Still strong at $16. So if you bought at 20 and you never sold, again, you got your money almost back. And they're still holding strong at a decent price. I'm sorry, where the hell's the price? $15, close enough. They paid out $16. So again, they paid out 16, but again, the price only dropped by 5 essentially. So you got to look at it that way too. What else? SMCY. Again, this one would have been probably close, if not there, if SMCY did not have that disaster news when this fund launched. Again, with their auditor problems and all that. I don't know if anyone remembers that whole spiel, but they pretty much, again, they launched at 51, and then SMCY took a dumpster dive and went wah, 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 and then down it went. Look at the 52-week low, 17.25. So obviously, yeah, it's been a rough year for them, but hey, what can you do? All right, who else? We're going to look at the weeklies here. Well, the weeklies, YieldMax, they're getting there, 67%. So that's not bad. It's not too close to get too excited. But ULTY, however, is getting closer, right? ULTY's at 70%. It's again, I always say for the weeklies, it's a race between YMAX, YMAG, and ULTY. Who's next? I mean, I guess LFGY at 33, but that's pretty much it. Nothing too exciting there. But but yeah, I mean, as far as new funds, I did add GMEY to what are they, part of Group C, and then we got RDYY, the Reddit one, in Group B. If we look at their IVs, we have their IVs. There we go. So Reddit's IV sits at 68%, which that's pretty damn good. And then GameStop, look at GameStop's IV. Like, I don't know what happened, but their IV used to be like, I swear, high 80s, 70s, 100% sometimes. I don't like, I wouldn't want to trade options on GameStop with a 50% IV, right? Like, is there still possibility? I'm sure we have some diamond hands in here. Are we still looking at a MOAS? You guys know what MOAS stands for? Basically the mother of all short squeezes, right? Is that still a thing? I mean, that'll be awesome if that happens when, once GME is especially added to YMAX. But does anyone still believe that, that's actually going to happen? But yeah, man, I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye. But yeah, those are the only two funds recently added. I think I did see they did announce another fund the other day. I don't know if you guys remember it. Which one was that? What the heck did they launch? Is it down here? Let's see. I don't remember. Do you guys remember what fund they said they launched or they will launch? Yeah, I don't know. I think they tweeted something. Was anyone, or they mentioned it? Maybe they mentioned it on the Wednesday call, but yeah, I don't know. So yeah, that's pretty much the guesstimate. Again, it's all about MSTY this week and whether or not they're going to pay $1. I couldn't do it. I've been saying this is the first payment they're going to pay under $1, and I couldn't do it. All right, sorry, couldn't do it. Will they pay under $1? I don't know, but I'm not going to be the one to guess it. Sorry, not doing it, not one bit. So I'm going to give them $1.01, 81% yield. Does that make sense to me? No, but I don't care. Again, does ULTY make sense paying 9 cents for that long? No. 10 cents that long? No. But hey, sometimes you just go with your gut. And when your gut is as big as mine, you should be right? And then obviously winter, like I said, that should be the one, shooting for the 105% yield, over 100% yield. So, again, that'll be pretty good. Any questions as far as the guesstimates are concerned? Yeah, that's why we're fasting though, Grumpy, right? We got to be fasting. Drop this gut. I ran 5 miles yesterday though, so that helped. Actually, I had like 25,000 steps yesterday. It's pretty good. Stinking Rocket has 400 game stops, so that's good. All right, let's see. Oh, I thought you were on the fasting club, Grumpy. Well, if you got a big gut, why not, right? Brother says, why so far off on the guesstimate? I guess you're playing in place of LA. Well, we don't know that I'm that far off. Or again, MSTY probably way far off, right? Grumpy's eating already. Oh no. Well, he did get up at 2, so I guess that does make sense. Good morning, Kieran. Just going through some comments. Yeah, you have not joined the club. You will. Stomach interview. Scott asks, gets all this magic money. The magic money, is that what we're calling it? All right. Rod, can you recap the guesstimates, please? I was late today. Sure. I'm not going to go. Oh, I'm going to read through the main ones. MSTY, we got 101 at 81% yield. SMCY, 105, 86% yield. AMZY, 44 cents, 37% yield. Aptly, 48 cents, 45% yield. I'm pretty sure no one cares about the others, but I could be wrong. And then we got, again, YieldMax, 12 cents, 48% yield. YMAG, 6 cents, 20% yield. But again, that's the Group C payment with MSFO. LFGY, 47 cents. That's a 67% yield. And then GPTY, 36 cents, 40% yield. Skip over these and we'll go right to ULTY. ULTY, I think they're going to pay 9 or 10 cents, but 9 cents would be what I guessed, and that's an 82% yield. SALTY, I gave them 58 cents, a 70% yield. Not sure if you guys agree with me. Let me know in the comments. All right. So, damn, 15,500 ULTY. You'll join when you're not even 40 with a name like Grumpy Toad. I'm not going to lie. I thought you were an old man. Does vodka break a fast? Just ask Clive. He knows about that. Is he here? All right. You're an old man on the inside. Yeah, I could tell, man. Grumpy. Grumpy and Toad. All right. So vodka never breaks a fast. All right. That's good to know. You're happy about SMCY and MSTY. I thought way below $1. Hey, this is just my wag, right? What the hell do I know? So don't go by me. Don't be yelling at me on Wednesday when they pay 60 cents, right? Or what was my extrinsic? Extrinsic was at like 78 cents. But yeah, who knows? Who knows what they're going to pay? Sunita, your guess is as good as mine. Great quote. I give it a 10. I give it a 10. Love that movie. Let's see. Yeah, you were way late too. No problem. How to invest for yourself. Good morning. Just going through some comments. Good morning, Mike and Venus. Yep. Welcome. I didn't sing today. Sorry. Not yet, at least. New channel. Yep. Oh, you've been here. All right. Better late than never. All right. Any other questions about the guesstimate? Does anyone think I'm going to be wrong on MSTY? Quick vote here. MSTY over under $1. Yeah. Well, Grumpy Toad. I don't even know why I'm still in fantasy football leagues because I care less and less every year. But I always forget, especially when there's a 9 o'clock game, which screws me up. I don't know. I used to be so into it. Now it's just like, whatever, It is fun though. It is fun once you like start watching, but over 101 at 1. There you go. MSTY 104. Under $1. Over. All right. Ask an options question. Under, but I won $1. Okay. 101. Under. Over. Sorry for yelling. Over. What else we got? Probably going to be under $1, unfortunately. I wish the IV would increase. Sorry, give me 1 second, guys. Probably should have put music on, right? Probably going to be under $1. Unfortunately, I wish the IV would increase, or there would be some kind of catalyst to where YieldMax can start pulling in some more income. Because, yeah, I mean, the IV, what are we going to do about it, man? It's been at this range for forever, right? So, I don't know. We'll see. But let's see. Always seems like they're losing money on all their trades. Well, I'm not sure if you've been following, but that's definitely not the case. You saw on MSTY, they had a really good week on MSTY. There was that huge up day, which they lost some, but overall for the week, they had a good week. They made money. So need $1 just over psychological level. Yeah, which is $1, right? Would we be bitching if MSTY paid 0.999? I think so. That's why I think it for them. I think it's just worth it to pay the dollar, right, and move on. So let's see. If I sold 5,000 puts of ULTY at 6 for 7,000, should I let them get assigned if I want them anyway? What's ULTY at? Let's see. They're at ULTY's at 567. So you sold your all right, so you sold puts at $6. Well, you already answered your own question. If you want them anyway, then why not, right? So have you sold the puts yet, or are you thinking about selling puts at 6? I mean, if you haven't done it yet, then why not sell at like 5 or or 550 if needed? I'm not sure. I think they go by 50-cent denominations. I'm not sure, but yeah, it all depends on the premium too. I don't think ULTY's options chain is probably too attractive. So obviously $6 would be in the money and it would pay well, but how much, what you have to look at the the intrinsic versus the extrinsic and go from there. All right, let's see. Over. Keyword MSTY puts. Are you selling puts on MSTY, Rod? I have 6,000 shares, so hoping for over $1. All your MSTY are belong to us. What? Good morning, Aaron. Cue it up. What level? 30. I think lately YieldMax is paying us out our own money as the price has dropped on nearly every distro by the distro. Well, yeah, the price is going to drop by the distro. I mean, that's what happens, right? But in the meantime, you have to look at how much they made, up to that 4 weeks, right? So again, we just showed you house money, right? Some of these funds have paid you 100% back already. Some of them paid you 200%. So obviously, if they were paying you your own money, then the fund would be at zero. So clearly we know that's not the case. I'm not sure which fund you're referencing though, Dion. Question about PTIR. What kind of fund is it? I know it's a leverage 2x long Palantir ETF, but don't know if it pays the distro on Robinhood. I don't show. Well, the leverage funds, sometimes they paid a quarterly distribution. Sometimes, it's not enough to care. Let me just say that. I know because I invest in TSLL. Well, I do options on TSLL and TNA, and both of them, yeah, they pay a quarterly distribution. Sometimes it's a decent amount. Sometimes it's so low it's not even worth thinking about. But yeah, I wouldn't be too concerned or care about a distribution, on a leverage fund. Well, at 44, I need $1. Mine went red Friday, but should be green next. When will YieldMax announce which fund will go from monthly to weekly? Oh, yeah, they still doing that? I don't know. I really don't care, to be honest. I think that's stupid anyway. I don't think they need to do that, but yeah, I don't know. Why do you guys actually want any of these funds from the groups to pay weekly? I need SMC. So Austin says, great job. You're welcome. I need SMCY to hit $1.30 again. The hit. Yeah, it just seems like the gold digger is always catching us more than catching bank. Yeah, I mean, again, that's the underlying though. Whatever the underlying does, can we really control that, right? The synthetic, they're always just going to place it. They're always going to have a position in the synthetic for however much money is in there. And that thing is going to track the movement of the underlying. And whether the underlyings keep going down or up, we have no control of that. Hopefully, in over time, the underlying's going up, doing well, and then we can cash out, in the process. Because as you saw, like when MSTY launched, that was the case. MSTR was doing very well. In fact, during that time, they had a forward split too, which did complicate things. But I think they should have another split. Why not, right? 10-1 or something like that. What do you guys think? Think that would help it? But I don't know. We would like to know who the gold digger is. We'll have her on one day. Nothing but home runs. Hey, maybe, right? They say fourth quarter usually does well. So we'll see. Yeah, soon enough. We'll have to ask him. I'm not sure if he's doing them anymore now that they have, Mike Kag. My MSTY has between a 26% and 45% total return, so you're happy with it. Bitwise published a macro call report this week on Bitcoin with 1.3 million, 2305. I mean, who gives a crap about that year? I hope you meant to say like, I don't know, a year much sooner than that. We got the rate cuts. We should have Bitcoin rocking. Time to wake up. Yeah, we got one. If we get two more, then maybe, right? But I guess we'll see. Can you guys hear the music good? All right. 20. Yeah, exactly. 2305. Ain't nobody got time for that. January 6th, ULTY puts. January. I wouldn't be going that far. I'd go up to maybe a month out or so. Oh, good morning, Clive. Welcome. They were just talking about breaking a fast with vodka, so I figured you were the best person to speak of that. 2035. Even that seems too late, but yeah, I guess we'll take it. 2035, 1.3. $1.06 to $1.11 says Pistol Pete. Is that good enough? I guess. Yeah, I mean, people will be very happy with that. But again, what was the last payment? The last MSTY payment was $1.08. So, not quite sure that they're going to be paying any more than that. But again, we're guessing we're guessing they're going to stay at the dollar range. We'll see. ULTY went to weekly options a few weeks ago. What? Where is Nikki? I don't know. Good question. Over $1. Oh yeah, this is the music I like. All right. I hope everyone has an ultimate Sunday and a mysterious week. I think MSTY paying over $1 would make investors happy, but at the same time, it would be doing a disservice to investors. Well, I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but it's it's reasonable that because it's still they're around what, $16. So I don't think it's completely ridiculous paying $1. But yeah, if they paid like $2, if they paid $1.50, I'm like, yeah, that's a bit much. But I think $1 would be aight. There's TNA from X. Welcome. Brother AB, we all laughing. We'll see a payment under $1. Selling an ULTY put at 550 is 0. $6 is where you can earn about 35 cents per contract. I mean, that's not worth it. ULTY price is 33 cents of that is the difference in the price, right? So you're telling me they're giving you 2 cents for the risk. So that is 100% not worth it, right? Again, you could buy ULTY at 567, right? All right, what are we looking at? Oh, sorry, I'm thinking, $6, you said. The difference between 6 and 567, again, is 33 cents. If you get paid 35 cents on the put contract, that means, again, you can disregard the amount in the price gap, which is the intrinsic income, 33 cents. Now, the extrinsic income is the difference, which is what you get for the time and the risk, right? And that's 2 cents. So, yeah, I would say, yeah, screw them. You better pay me more, or else I ain't doing this put. That put is not worth it. Sorry. My thresholds were 50 cents on Pony and $1 on MSTY. PTIR is up over 1,300%. Rod says, hey Rod, I'm not rushing you, but you mentioned something about starting a Roundhill video or something. Sorry, I caught the end the other day. Only halfway heard. Are you still doing that? Did I mention Roundhill or did I mention Granite shares or Rex shares? But Roundhill, back a couple weeks ago, I did mention throwing them in the guesstimate video. Maybe that's what you're talking about, which no, I haven't done any preparation on that. Half of my MSTY position has calls expiring Friday. Yeah, brother, you're Your Misty's about to get called away, right? Yes, that's in the works, Rod. I'm working on the spreadsheet still. The options chain on Coney is bleak. Only whole dollar increments. Yeah, it's not worth it then. None of these are really worth it. Even Misty's not worth it. It's just, you know, of any of them, Misty is the most worth it, but you got to go really close to the money and be okay. Again, if you sell calls with Misty, what's Misty at? It's at 16. So if you sell calls at $16, yeah, you'll get paid. You'll get paid, you know, how much? I don't know. Is it enough to be worth it? Again, that's a tough one. Dividend degenerates like Granite shares. Probably the only low price funds to see if they can get a boost. Why can't they actually buy shares and make them? All right, let's see. Why can't they actually buy shares and make them covered? Doesn't it cost more if it's synthetic and we take a hit? Well, no. It's just, I mean, again, if they buy the shares, that's where all the cash is going to go, right? So if you're using all your cash to own the shares, you know, that, again, that's an expense right there because you're losing out on the high interest environment still, right? Because all the cash that they have is sitting in treasuries earning the additional 3, 4, 5%, whatever interest that they have, right? And again, the expense of the synthetic is really minimal. Sometimes it's an expense, sometimes it's a credit actually, depends on where and when they start the position. But no, I think the synthetic is a good move, again, especially in a high interest rate environment. But I know some people, it doesn't, I mean, does it really matter? Does it matter much? It depends. It depends which way you look at it, I guess. Granite shares slings rocks just like brother. Yep. The gold digger is Cynthia to the synthetic. Had to leave single equity funds for just YieldMax and ULTY. Not a bad idea. High Wolf Rocket. Yeah, October for the win. QLDY by weekliness is going to mess up all future ETFs. I know. Are we going to buy that just because? I guess that's the question, right? I don't know. I'd be happy if Misty paid. When will you start your coverage of Granite shares? Stop teasing us already. I said within the next 2 weeks, right? Things take time. 2305, yeah, exactly. Yeah, might as well make it that day, right? Music is good. Goody. A lot of comments, that's good. Yes, but why the elevator or doctor? You know, Wolf, everyone just said they like the music. So you're alone there. 81 likes, 155 watching. There's actually 837, 838 now watching between YouTube and X. If Misty pays under $1 on Wednesday, gotta play Peter Gabriel's Red Rain. Yeah, then I'll get dinged. Copyright, right? Need to do an ROD grill out. Where at? Where we going? With Hood and app rising so much due to the S&P inclusion, ULTY should be doing better. You don't have to like her grumpy, just admire her beauty. I like the interviews with Scott, but I don't feel there is any loss with Mike. They're both still way smarter than me. Rather listen to LFL. New Kids on the Block. Misty next month, $2. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, might as well just try $1 and hope that MSTR flies to the moon. And then Misty will recover to 20, 25, 30. Imagine. Yeah, right. I don't know. We'll see. Hate to see her go, love it. Welcome, Jonathan Kwan. I believe you have a Spaces coming up, right? At 7:30. That's the word on the street. House money is not a valid view of investments. It's always your money and its total return, and you make decisions about forward looking. Well, you're a buzzkill, SB. Come on, man. It's still summer, hot where I live. Yeah, it was hot yesterday here, which is good. What do we got? MSTY has been trending downward for months. Oh wait, I skipped a couple comments. You in Florida, Grumpy? Yes, Ambassador. He's a famous man now. He doesn't realize it, but he's a famous man. He's a big shot on the X Spaces. By the way, he is my next guest on the Monday morning show. Not this Monday. This Monday is going to be a Spaces, but he will be my guest the following Monday here on YouTube. So make sure you have your questions ready for him. All right, here's that comment. MSTY has been trending downward for months now. Did anyone see anything happen to? Oh, well, yeah, Bitcoin. It's all about the Bitcoin. Gotta find that girl that's fancy like Applebee's on a date. Bitwise published. There it is. All right, so 2035. Okay, so the 10-year Bitcoin price of 1.3 million 10 years from now. Okay, so do you want to wait 10 years? Or do we think, I don't know. I think we all hope 1 million is going to happen much sooner than that. All right, have a good one, TNA. Hey TNA, where in the Discord do I go to ask questions on the mechanics of these technologies, or am I too old to learn these new tricks? Five contracts, each at 15 and 1550, only made 400. Hey, at least you made something, right? Rod, sell a call, MSTY 16926 expiration. What's the premium? Yeah, apparently. Bitcoin had a tendency to go up 80% of October's the last 10 years. Hold MSTY. All right, Charles, we like that. 101, wow. Where are you at, Rod? Aren't you close to me? The rods stick together. No, you did not. It's it may not happen. I'm just gonna give it a few more minutes though. We'll have to adjust the thumbnail. 2 more rate cuts. Yeah. Is it happening this year though? Tom Lee gets introduced as not the porn. I will break fast with 4 eggs today, not vodka. What fun is that, right? But seller bought Bitcoin. All right, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to end it here, guys. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, and this video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, come back. Well, tomorrow, there is no tomorrow really. Tomorrow, join me on Spaces actually on the morning commute. I will be, heading into work bright and early on the morning commute. Hope to talk to you then. We'll interview a couple of the people we're familiar with, from the chat, each and every day. Stinking Rocket, you go to search ambassador of Quan, and then you'll find his spaces. All right. Outside of that, I got nothing but a keyword. Ain't nothing but a keyword. I think the keyword today, we'll just stick with the trend of freaking MSTY. And I want everyone to say over or under on MSTY. If anything changes with this announcement I had thought I was going to mention, I'll let you know, and we'll go from there. But for now, the keyword, if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you got to type in over or under. Will MSTY pay over or under $1? That is the question. All right. Is that the question? And if so, all right. So go check out Ambassador's spaces and go say hi and all that jazz. All right. I'm out of here. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.